I really enjoyed Dr. Carver. This made me feel so sick in such a delightful way. This was released in 2021. It's directed by Louisa Warren. It's written by Louisa Warren and Shannon Holiday. And we have a cast including Chelsea Greenwood, Danielle Scott, Sofia Lacey, Amanda-Jade Tyler, Julia Quayle, Ricardo Freitas, Andrea Richardson, Mia Blackman, and Zuza Tehanu. And the narrative is great. Also, I want to point out that this is actually the first film. Conjuring the Plastic Surgeon 2 is the sequel. That's also known as Demonic Plastic Surgeon MD, which I was about to watch because based on that title, I didn't realise it was a sequel. I realised just before I watched it that Dr. Carver comes first. So that's worth bearing in mind if you've been thinking about watching Demonic Plastic Surgeon MD. Dr. Carver is the first film. And this is about a group of women who go to visit this plastic surgeon to get plastic surgery. And well, I don't want to go into too much detail. We do have a really nice backstory for the demonic plastic surgeon and why the surgeon is behaving in this way. I rather enjoyed learning about that, but again, I won't give away too much. And we see the plastic surgeon, the demonic plastic surgeon, giving some very gruesome procedures. And yes, the narrative is good. I liked it. Interesting, well written, great pacing. Absolutely no problems with any of that. But the real reason it worked for me is, well, as I said, it made me feel incredibly sick because I am, like a lot of people, very phobic of needles. Very, very phobic of needles. And we get a lot of that. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But I love it. And it is gory. I will admit, and this doesn't happen often with me with horror, but I did have to look away when we had close-ups of the needle. And it's a lot to even talk about, but obviously with horror films, that's what we look for. We look for things that scare us, that make us feel sick, in a controlled environment, and that's exactly what we have here. And all it does to me is reinforce the fact that I will never be able to get plastic surgery. Not saying I want it, unless, of course, I was in, heaven forbid, a horrific accident or something, reconstructive surgery maybe, but even if I really wanted cosmetic surgery, I don't think I'd ever be able to do it because I'm terrified. And this just really played into that fear, and I thought it worked really well. The demonic plastic surgeon, as I said, has a nice, well-written backstory. Maybe nice is not the right word there, but well-written. And I really enjoyed the execution of the narrative. I thought that the horror aspect was very strong, very, very well done. If you're scared of that kind of thing. If you're not fazed by needles and sharp objects, and medical-based horror. I love medical-based horror. If that's not for you, then it might not faze you, but it really, really appeals to a lot of things I'm genuinely very scared of, and I really enjoyed it. I can't wait. Really cannot wait to watch the second one. I thought Dr. Carver was great. Really good fun. Occasionally a tiny bit funny. I don't think it was meant to be. But there were a few things that I thought were a little funny. Not laugh out loud funny, but definitely amusing. And in general, I'd say it was brilliant. Really, really appealed to me. Really spoke to things that really make me feel very sick and very scared. And I'm sure anybody else who watches a lot of horror can relate to this. The more horror I watch, the harder it is to find things that scare me, because I just get used to it. But this, I feel like I could watch this 100 times over and I'd still be feeling very, very uneasy in a delightful, controlled way. I enjoyed it. Decent story, good performances, very gory, very gruesome, and I rather loved it. Dr. Carver is great, and I'm looking forward to watching the sequel.